Now, I like to use different colors when I do this, and I think you'll see why when I progress. But if you have a couple of different colors, it's a little bit helpful. So our objective today is long division of polynomials. Okay? And what Brittany told you yesterday, poly means many, nomial means number. So, I mean, that's a polynomial. It's got many terms. These are supposedly numbers, many numbers, and they all have whole number exponents. Okay? So, to do this, the first thing I'm going to do is start off with regular long division. I am shocked, though, every now and then I do this, and some kids have never learned long division, like regular with numbers, because the elementary teachers teach them these tricks, and I wish they wouldn't. And I've tried to go over there and tell them, teach them regular long division. Yeah, every now and then I have kids that go, what are you doing, Mr. Davies? Doing long division. Don't you know long division? No, I have no idea, Mr. Davies. What are you talking about, okay? Anyway, here we go. 5 divides into 1,261, right? Let's go through the most obvious part, okay? So the 5 does not go into 1, correct? So you go to the next term, which is 12. 5 goes into 12 2 times. So I'm going to write the 2 up here, okay? Now, 3x goes into 6x cubed minus 3x squared plus 12x minus 18. Same thing. And I'll wait for you to get caught up. Did you figure it out?
No, I don't know which ones you want. You didn't.
Okay. Thank you, Brittany. My bad. Oh, here's Nick. Good. Ignore Nick. So, same thing. 3x goes into 6x cubed how many times? Now, if you can't do it in your head, I say, well, just do a little side division. I don't mind a little side division. So, if I say 6x cubed divided into by 3x, I mean, again, maybe you can do this in your head, maybe you can't, but you should get a 2x squared. You guys agree with that? Does that make sense? You can say 3x goes into 6x cubed, 3 goes into 6 2 times, x cancels an x. Now, slide back down. You already know that 2 times 5 is 10, correct? But what you're really kind of doing is taking the 2 times the 5, aren't you? And then you get a 10. We do the same thing here. Same thing. 2x squared times 3x should be a 6x cubed, and it is. Right? In long division up here, we're going to subtract, right? You guys agree to subtract? We're going to just go 12 minus 10. 12 subtract 10. Let me use a different color. Is 2, and we bring down the 2, okay? We'll do the same thing here. 6x cubed, subtract 6x cubed is 0, right? But then, what do we do up here? We really get 0. What do we do up here? We bring down the next term, right? So we bring down the next term. Bring down the next term. We bring down our 6, right? What do we do here? Same thing, right? We bring down the next term. So we bring down the negative 3x squared. We're going to get a negative 3x squared. In black, got all these colors going. We'll get a negative 3x squared, okay? Thank you, Nick. Is that it?
It was turned way up.
Thank you. I'm going to try it real quick, okay? Let me put it on. Hello? Hello, how's that sound, you guys? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Nick. All right. So let me keep going. So then we did the same thing. 5 goes into 26 5 times, right? So I'm going to put a 5 up here. And we'll do the same thing down here. Exact same stuff. 3x goes into negative 3x squared, a negative 1x times, okay? Negative 1x. And again, if you can't see that, then do a little division on the side, negative 3x squared divided by 3x. And doing the division on the side is okay, because hopefully you see that's a negative 1x, right? Which is I have. Here, I would have gone my 5 times my 5. I just do that. 5 times 5 is 25. We'll do the same exact process here, except for its x's. 3x, negative 1x times 3x is a negative 3x squared. Right? We subtract. In this case, we're going to subtract. We'll get a positive 1. We subtract a negative. We subtract a negative, right, which makes a plus. Makes that a plus. Negative 3x and a positive 3x. Negative 3x squared and a positive 3x squared makes 0. Okay. Oh, I should have made this an, yeah, that is an x. Okay. Back up here, what's the next step? We bring down the 1, right? So we bring down, all the way down, all the way down, bring the 1. Glad everybody knows long division. So the same thing here, we'll bring down the 12x. So it's no different than what we did before, except for it's with x's. So bring down the positive 12x. Okay, and then same thing up here, 5 goes to 11, 2 times, right? 2 times. Down here, 3x goes into 12x, 4 times, positive 4 times. And again, if you need to do a little division on the side, you can. Some kids like to do the division on the side. You can see that that's obviously going to be 4. And then what do? Well, back up here, you go 2 times 5, which is 10. You get your 10. And down here, same thing, we'll do the 4 times 3x, which makes a 12x. And then we'll subtract. And we get a 1. Oh, hold on. Yeah, I want to leave that red. And we subtract here. We get a 0. And we bring down our negative 8. Okay? Now, we're almost done. So let's just go up here. Am I going too fast? Right, everybody okay? Let's go back up here. My answer. 2 ways to do it. We could put a decimal and keep dividing, correct? But we're not going to do that. We're going to say the answer is 252 and 1/5. So we take the remainder. You take the remainder, 1/5. You guys remember that from middle school? Okay, so it's your remainder over your divisor. So my answer is 252 and 1/5. So the same thing happens here. 3x will not go into negative 8 because it's not an 8. That's not an x. So our answer is,
It's negative 18.
huh?
It's negative 18. In the
Oh, yeah, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So we're going to take our negative 18 over what we divided by. And I could probably reduce this to 6 over 3. All right? Now, it gets a little bit more interesting when you have 2 terms. But we're going to do the exact same process, okay? So I'm going to take, and I'll go slowly with this, 2x minus 1 divided into a 2x squared plus 12x minus 4, okay? Same process. Two x goes, don't worry about the 1. Ignore the 1. We'll get the 1. But the 2x, do the first term. 2x goes into 2x squared, 1x times. And if you're not sure, if you need to do a little side division, just do a little side division. Okay. And then we have to multiply, just like we did up here. We're going to multiply. So my 1x times my 2x makes it 2x squared. But I also need to multiply by the 1. I need to put by the 1 as well. So 1x times 1 is a negative 1x. Okay? You're going to subtract, but you have to be careful with subtraction, because you're going to subtract both the 2x and the negative 1, right? So when you do this, what I do, and you don't have to do this, maybe you're smart enough to know that's really a plus. Plus 1, maybe you're smart enough to see that's a plus 1. But what I do, just to be careful, is I will push the negative through and change signs. You okay with that? Same thing. I'm adding a negative. See that? I'm just adding a negative, which is subtraction. I just added a negative, and a negative with negative is positive. And now, that cancels. I'm left with a 13x, bring down my negative 4. Okay, not too bad, right? Not too bad. Can we divide again? Sure. 2 goes into 13, I think 6.5 times, right? 2 goes into 13, 6.5 times. So I'm going to have a positive 6.5, and I'll multiply. 6.5 times 2 is a 13x, and 6.5 times a negative 1 is a negative 6.5. I'm going to subtract. I make mistakes all the time. You already saw one with the 18 and the 8, right? So to keep myself from making mistakes, I will add a negative. So I change the signs. I add a negative. Hopefully that makes sense. Just make sure, keeps me from making a mistake here. Subtract, that's gone. And then I get, what's that, a 2.5, right? Now, x will not go into a 2.5. So that's your remainder. That's my remainder. So my answer is going to be my 1x plus 6.5 plus my 2.5 over what I divided by 2x minus 1. All right, ready to turn the page? Okay, now, number 3 is the same except for a little bit longer, and there's something missing. And we're going to make sure that we get the cube. There's not an x cubed. You guys see that? So when we divide, I'm going to go x minus 3. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead, Ellie. 2x fourth. I'm going to go plus 0x cubed minus 15x squared minus 10x plus 5, okay? And let me give you an example of a number. Even in plain old math, these are different numbers, aren't they? Plain old math, these are different numbers. You have to have the 0 to hold the place. You have to have a 0 to hold the place, okay? For the same reason. So, let's divide. We start with the x. X goes into 2x to the fourth. How many times? 2x to the third is correct. Again, if you're not sure, do a little division on the side. X is canceled, 2x to the third, right? So what do? We multiplied both of them. I got a 2x to the fourth minus a 6x cubed, which is nice because I put a spot there for my cubes, didn't I? See how smart we are. And then when I subtract, I like to add a negative. That's what I do. I add a negative. It just makes me from making a mistake. And so then when I subtract, that one's gone. I have a positive 6x cubed. And then bring down the next term, right? So let's bring down the next term. So we have a minus 15x squared. And we'll do it again. X goes into 6x cubed. How many times? 6x squared. You guys see that? 6x squared. Again, you can do a side division if you want to, but it's going to be a positive 6x squared. I'm going to multiply. I'm going to get a 6x cubed minus 18x squared. I'm going to subtract. But again, I like to add a negative, which is the same thing as subtraction. My 6x cubes will cancel. I'm left with a positive 3x squared. Bring down the next term. I'm going to get a minus 10x. It's a long problem. We're getting close. X goes into 3x squared. How many times? Just a 3x, right? Positive 3x. I'll multiply again. I get a 3x squared minus a 9x. I want to subtract. So I like to add a negative so I don't make a dumb mistake, because I make them all the time. Cancel. Negative 1x. Bring down the next term. Bring down the plus 5. X goes into negative 1x. Negative 1 time, right? Multiply, and I'll have a negative 1x plus 3. I'm going to subtract. Again, I like to add a negative. Add a negative, so I change my signs. Subtract. Now, the 2 is my remainder, so I'm going to put it as a fraction with the x minus 3. So my answer is my 2x cubed plus 6x squared plus 3x minus 1. Yeah, thanks, Lauren. Plus my 2 over my x minus 3. Okay? Where am I at? It was a positive. It was a positive. Positive 5, right? Greer?
No, well, because it's negative 1 times negative 3.
It's a positive 3, right? And then I changed it. Then I changed it to a negative when I subtracted.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Yeah, see how easy it is to make a mistake on these? Okay, that's what I have. So let me stop my recording.
I can't remember synthetic division.
Shh, let's come in tomorrow.